Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your purchase of your Forest River XLR Boost 32RZR14. I'm here to walk you around your big toy hauler here, show you how to use a few things, get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to take into consideration when parking. Of course, on your campsite, your awning. And then over on your off campsite, I want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be, as well as your slides over here. Leave plenty of room for them to come in and out. Leave yourself a nice walking path down here. You're going to need access to your power. Power is going to be almost to the very rear on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Then your docking station is going to be a little bit toward the front. So park accordingly so you can utilize facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive, first thing you're going to do is unhook your hitch. Your hitching controls are going to be right here at the front of the unit. You have a docking light should you arrive at night. Have to light these up for you. And just simply extend or retract your landing legs until you've got your unit up off your trailer. Once you've got your unit up off your truck, pull your truck away. Use those landing legs to get it as level as you can. Once you've got it level, we're going to come around to your stabilizing jacks. So both of your stabilizing jacks are on the rear and they're individually controlled. Over here on your campsite in the corner, just simply extend them down rather quickly. Now there's a hand crank up front. You have to manually override these. As I bring these down, I'm going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris and hot blacktop in the summer. Pick up a 2-pack of those, put those down underneath there, and run these down just until they're taut. That's where you want to stop. Remember, they're stabilizing jacks, not leveling jacks. We already have our unit level. All we want to do is bring these down to make it stable. I'll run this back up for you here real quick. Here's the one on the other side working. These are loose. Kind of adjust them as they come down if they move on you. Then the other one real quick so you can see that one working over there. And we'll run that one back up. So once we got our unit level and stable, we can go ahead and hook up our power and water. Big long 50 amp cord here. Plugs in the rear here. And if you need it, at a campsite, there's a 50 to 30 dog bone, we call it. And then if you ever need to plug in at home, throw this 30 to 110 adapter on there. Got your power hooked up, let's hook up our water. Docking station is right here at the rear, or the off campsite, excuse me. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. Always use this when putting fluid in here. At campsites, we'll hook up to city water connection. Hook up your hose to your water pressure regulator, hook that up, but don't turn your hose on yet. We're going to open up our hot water heater here. Just make sure your drain plug's back in. Throw some plumber's tape on that, preferably not putty. Get that in there nice and snug. Then once that's in there, you can go ahead and turn on your hose. Now, after your hose has been on for a little while, go inside and turn on your water taps. Once you got all the air out of the lines, a steady flow of water coming out of those, you can shut them off, and then you can go ahead and turn on your hot water heater indoors. There is an on-off electric element right here. That is set to off. The only time you ever want to turn this on out here is if you're hooked up to 110. Turn it on electric here as well as electric indoors. Hot water heater doesn't seem to be working. Come and look and see if these are bubbled up. If they are, simply press them back in for a reset. And then your pressure release valve. Now let's say we're going to go boondocking and we're not going to need city water connection. We're going to fill up our fresh water tank. Again, water pressure regulator, hook your hose up, turn your hose on. Now to tell when this is full, go on the inside and where you check your level of your battery, your black and gray tanks, there's also a freshwater button. Hold that down. Once that is full, unhook that hose, hose that up, and then if you want to utilize this fresh water, that's when you want to turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when using city water that's already pressurized. All right, we're all set up with power and water. Let me walk you around the rest of the outside of the unit, starting on your off-camp side up here. Here's where it looks like a setup for. Beginning with your propane up here. After you loosen it open nose, you have an outdoor shower. This handle is set right in here. There's your pass-through storage. Again, your hot water heater. Above that, your city water connection. Fresh water, cable and satellite hookups. Down here's our black and gray tank dumps. Black tank flush up here. We'll talk about that when we dump our black and gray tanks. This is a flue for your furnace. If you're running your furnace, steer clear of that. It will get hot, and make sure nothing's ever blocking it. A couple of low point drains in here. Right there for your city water. And there's your fresh water drain, that white handle back there. That is a vent for your microwave. See, you've got your slide topper covers. That were great. Back here's your fueling station. There's where you turn your pump on and off. Here's where you fill it. And there's your handle, your pump. Got a ladder. Utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year and check the seams of your roof. Caulk as needed. In order to get up there, just pull out on these cotter pins and this whole thing will fold out. This is a vent. I'll show you how to open those up from inside. We'll discuss how to set that deck up when you get here. Again, stabilizing jacks. You have a leash link in case you want to bring your fur baby with you. It's also prepped for a TV. TV backer will slide right on here. Plug in your cable in 110 with a couple outdoor speakers. Continuing up here is the other side of your pass-through storage. And this is your battery disconnect. This will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide and propane detector. The other side of your propane. Up front here, we got a nice storage area there. Your docking lights, the landing legs, access to your battery. Check your battery post now and then. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose over time, bouncing us down the road. Then your gen prep area. That about covers the thing on the outside. Let's go take a look inside your unit. Alright, coming up inside the unit, first thing I always like to point out is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows that the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway. Coming immediately in, we got our cabinetry and our control panel. So on the control panel, start at the top here. There's where you check your brand new battery. There's a freshwater button that says you can hold down to tell when your potable water is full. Black and gray tanks. Over here's where you turn on your water heater. Here's where you turn on your water pump if using potable water. You got a ramp light, living room lighting, heating pads. If you're in inclement weather, that'll turn the pad on your tanks. An awning light, your ground light outdoors, front awning extend, and your slide control. On your awning, see your lights on there. Turn them on and off. Your awning, you don't want to run that out until that flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see that bar. That will extend past that and begin to run itself up backwards. No one has yet designed one that'll stop on time, so keep an eye on it when you run it out. I'm going to run that back in here for you. On is back in. I'll shut my lights off while I'm thinking about it. My ground lights. They call these a slam lock. But you really just don't need to slam them. Just pull them closed. Now down on the floor here is going to be your access panel to your breaker box and fuses. A ton of 15s in there, a couple 30s. Highly recommend having a handful of those with you when you go camping. Coming into our living room, or should I say our kitchen area. Down beside here is our fireplace. Not just for looks anymore. I can go through and show you all the pretty colors, but the biggest thing is heat. If it's chilly in here in the morning or evening, instead of using your gas, if you're plugged in at a campsite, crank this baby up and it'll get it toasty in here in no time. Got a little one-touch lighting up here. Self-explanatory microwave, fan, and a light above your cooktop. The cooktop makes an excellent backsplash. Turn on your panel light, turn that to light, it goes from blue to red, hit your spark and there's your flame. Same thing on your oven, no pilot light. Turn this to light, light it here, and then set it to the desired temperature. No need for a pilot light anymore. Take this panel light, point it down, and it becomes an oven light. Furrion fridge. We'll set this down in here in just a moment. You got a couple of USBs and lighting over here. One touch lighting over here. You have snaps that will cover all of your windows so nobody's peeking in and seeing your toys or anyone sleeping in here at night. We'll bring your bed down here real quick, show you how that works. Before I do, here's the vents I was telling you about. Move that rubber band, push that out, and that'll vent out your garage. There's several of them in here. One there, one up front there as well. Let's bring our bunks down. Bring everything down. Now before you come down, if you're going to leave your top bunks, or your bottom chairs, excuse me, if you're going to leave them down flat as a bunk bed, bring these legs down. And that'll support it when it comes down. We're not going to use it like that. We are actually going to set these up as chairs and set the top bunk up. Now you see your top bunk is going to stop at a certain point here. That's going to bring down your seating. We'll set your seating up. Jackknife's just like a jackknife surface. You pull up on the back area there. Now again, to leave these as beds, you want to put down your seat, your extra bar there. But as seating, simply want to lift up on the back and bring that part down. Pretty easy. Now I'm going to show you how to bring down just on the front. Fold it back down. Now we're going to bring down just the seating. So on all four corners you have this little latch here. There's instructions here for that. In order to leave the top bunk up, flip this forward. On all four corners, what that's going to do is it's going to make the top bunk lock itself in. Up in the top area. So if you bring everything back up, of course make sure it's laid down flat to do so. So you got tons of tie downs here. Got your push back recliners. The TV we'll get to in a moment. Now listen, you hear that click? That means the top bunk locked itself in. So now you can bring them down. Now if you want to bring down top bunk, simply go right back around and flip all of them forward. Now from here we'll go to your TV, crank that on with the remote. Got your pushback recliners, your stereo system we'll get to. Setup wizard, you'll run through that. You set it up for wherever you're at. Remote is in here. Furion sound system, AM, FM, Bluetooth, USB. Dual zone. See if we get anything to come in indoors. No, but 2 different zones for this. Shut it off inside, have it just outside. Zone 2 is on. Zone 1, hold it back in, turn it back on in here. You'll pick up more stations outdoors. Touch it once to mute it, hold it in to shut it off. Down here in the corner, around the corner from our fuse box, is your carbon monoxide propane detector. That is 12 volt. The reason I mentioned that's 12 volt, it's always running off your battery. So if you are going to be gone for the day boondocking somewhere, use that battery disconnect if you don't have anything plugged in charging your battery to keep this from running your battery down while you're gone. We're wired for solar here. That is a template for the techs to use in case you ever decide to wire this whole unit for solar. That's where they need the info from. Coming up the hallway is your thermostat. I'm going to crank the AC on in here real quick. You hear that blowing? I'm going to shut that off. AC shuts right off. Now I'm going to turn the heat on, much as I don't want to, as warm as it is in here today. Now there's your heat on. There you go. Shut your heat off. You'll notice that it takes a few minutes longer generally for heat fans to shut off than AC fans. This would be your inverter if you ever put a generator on here. Coming into the bathroom, a couple things to mention. You do have a hand crank open exhaust vent here. Shut that off. You have the safety strap you want to put on here for travel. And then you have 110 with GFCI reset. Come back into your bedroom. A couple things to mention in here. Separate thermostat for this AC back here. Crank that up for you. Separate slide control for this slide. There's your AC. Shut that back off. And roll out your lighting. Turn your heat on back here. Hear that come on. Your prep for a TV back here. 110 cable back there. Just make sure that whatever you put up here, you have plenty of room for that slide to come in and out when you do so. Make sure when you travel, clear anything that's going to be in the way of this slide coming in. A couple USB ports up there. And some storage underneath as well. That about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're getting ready to leave the campsite. So the first thing I like to say is doors and drawers. Well, I did not show you how to set this up yet. You do have a table that you can put between your bunks back here. All we're going to do is unsnap this, open up our legs, bring it down. There we can use it as a bed or jackknife it just like you do your bunk beds. And set it up on the wall. That about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're closing it up. Let me set this back up. Just like to open my control panel, shut off my living room lights, because then I can see any individual lighting and I need to walk through the unit and shut off. That way The lighting I can control from the control panel. You can find them. Doors and drawers. Make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing can impede your slides from coming in. Make sure all these doors and drawers are closed back here. On up to your bunk area. I'll turn the lighting on here. Just hit in here. Again, make sure nothing's back there. Shut that light off. Come back up front. Shut our living room lights off. Exit the unit. Now the biggest thing on these steps, you want to make sure your exterior door is all the way open. Otherwise this could catch on it when you're coming in. Lift them up. See how close that gets. Set it in. Lock your steps in. Lock and deadbolt your exterior door. Lift and turn your handle, and that's ready for travel. Alright, at this point we'll come back here and we'll bring up our stabilizing jacks. Unhook our power, our water, and our cable. Come around here to our low point drains if we're out boondocking. We're going to dump this white one back here. And if we're at a campsite, we're going to dump these two. Come to our hot water heater, lift up on our pressure release valve, and that's going to dump the rest of the hot water out of here. Put that down and pull your drain plug. Hook up your hitch and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump's going to be at the front of the unit on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. 10-foot hose comes with it. Hook up, and the first one we're going to pull is your sewer outlet. At your left handle, pull that. When it sounds like that's no longer draining, leave that handle open, and with the hose at the dump station, hook that up here and let that run for a good 5 minutes. That's going to clean out your black tank. Close that up. Close your black handle. Pull your gray handle. That's going to be cleaner waters, your sinks and your showers. That's going to clean your sewage hose out for you. Store that in a nice sanitary place and head on home. Again, thank you so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this boost for many years to come. Happy camping.